my video that I just posted, like a wee life update, I talked about like health things a wee bit, but actually I've been wanting to make a full video about this for a couple of months. Struggle to get my words out. Sometimes I've been getting this brain fog thing and my mind keeps going blank. When I'm talking to people, sometimes it'll actually take me like 20 minutes to get out one sentence because my brain's just not working and I've been really forgetful. But basically this full year my health has been the worst it's been, like, as far as I can remember. I've had to, like, for example, get a wheelchair at the airport, and I feel like I've just seen how hard it is for disabled people in general, whether you use a wheelchair or you look normal. And I feel like I've kind of seen it from both sides now, like when I was using a wheelchair, how hard it is. Like, because right now because I look fine, people think I'm fine, basically. So that's like one thing to deal with. And then since I had been using a wheelchair a wee bit, that's like a whole other side of things and how inaccessible everything is. First of all, so I was in Italy with my friends. I was booked to go to Lake Bled and Budapest as well, and I was just far too sore. Like, I get really bad in the heat. My back was like one of the worst it's been, and I had to come home early. I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I was just being a bit optimistic. So I came home with Alana, and we flew from Venice airport to Edinburgh, and that was my first ever time using special assistance. So got it, that was fine. Get to the airport, there's no signs for it, okay? So I was leaving because I was like in so much pain. Get there, there's no signs, first of all, of where to go. There was some like Ryanair staff, just like, I think they were just air hostesses, and I was like, do you know how to find the special assistance bit? And they said that you just go to the Ryanair desk, which also there was no signs for, so I'm like walking about this airport. Anyway, get there, get the wheelchair. The guy was really nice, took us through security and stuff. That was my first time ever like in a wheelchair, and it was so much weirder than I thought it was going to be, because I feel like in the back of my mind I've always been like, right, okay, if it gets that bad I can start using a wheelchair. But it was like so strange having someone push me that I don't know. It was just such a weird experience. It was just weirder than I thought, and like I just felt like everyone was looking at me, and they probably weren't, but I just felt like it. Got through, that was fine. The gate was like down a wee bit, and he was like, I'll leave you here because down at the gate there's nothing, like there's no toilets or anything, so I'll just leave you here. So we were there. Alana went to like duty free, it was fine. And then we looked at the time and I was like, I'm just gonna go and check the board to see if we're boarding or anything, because I feel like we've been here for ages, because the guy had said someone will get you in half an hour. It was like they get you like a certain amount of time before the gate closes. I can't remember how much, like 40 minutes or something. And Alana goes and checks the board and it's last call, and nobody had came to get me. So it was a bit of a panic, and Alana had to go and say to the people at the desk, like, my friend's up, like, we're on this flight, my friend's up there, and nobody's came to pick her up. And they were like, can you not push her down? And Alana had both of her cases, and that's not her job to be pushing me down. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, how am I meant to bring all of our bags and stuff? It was just like, honestly, a nightmare. And eventually someone like came and got me. We get on the plane at one side and everyone else is coming on the other side, and they didn't even tell the people to stop. So I'm standing here waiting while other people are coming on, rather than her just saying, oh, wait a wee minute and letting me get on the plane, because I got like the the thing up to the plane. I don't know. There's like so many things. So that's been Ryanair and Jet2. There's been so many things that are just, it just seems to be so unorganised, like nobody communicates, and just so many problems that could be fixed so easily. So basically, if Alana hadn't went and checked that board because we didn't need to check the board because we were told someone will come here and pick you up and take you on the plane. Just no one done that. So I would have just got left, basically. And I could have been myself in that airport because say I had lasted to Budapest, I would have been flying home myself and had had to do that. And I literally would have been left. So yeah, that was a big issue. And then I got to Edinburgh Airport, passport control, and I have this wee UK disability like wee card thing that I had ordered because nobody gives you anything to prove that you're disabled. And I showed her, because it was like a special assistance queue or the normal queue, which has the little lanyard, the sunflower scheme lanyard, which you can literally buy from Amazon, by the way. So if I just had that, it probably would have been fine. She takes it, she like looks at the back of it as if like it's not very clear what it is. It's got the disabled sign and it's got like a UK thing, it's got my photo. It's like, I don't understand why she was like acting as if it was this mental thing that I just gave her. She was like, right, so you're disabled then? And I was like, uh-huh. And she was like, and you can't wait in that queue? And I was like, no. And then she was like, right, on you go. Just obviously as if it wasn't stressful enough nearly getting left in Venice. She's just horrible to me when she's literally the person at the special assistance queue and I'm showing her a disabled card. Get to the queue, there was no one at the special assistance desk, right? And there was a queue next to it for like international people, and there was two seats with disabled things on it, so I sat there until the international people were going to be done. And the passport control, border control people like told me to come over. He was like, why are you just sitting there? And I was like, because I can't stand in the queue. Nobody's told me to come over. There's nobody there at the desk that's meant to be, honestly. So that was like my first, well, I had kind of had a bad experience in Edinburgh Airport before when I was in France. Yeah, so that was kind of the first bad experience that I'd had. Kind of emailed about it. Ryanair were like, not my problem, blah blah blah. It's the airport special assistance people. It's not Ryanair, whatever. And then me and Liam went to Portugal. We flew into Lisbon and we were waiting, and Liam was just wheeling me himself. I can't even remember because I feel like there's been like so many different problems. There was a wee woman sitting next to us who was meant to be in a wheelchair, but nobody came and picked her up, so she had to walk herself to the gate. I don't know, she maybe lives in Lisbon, she's got family in Glasgow, I'm not sure. But she literally did get left, like she got left and she missed her flight. And I know my mum had sent me like articles, like it's happened to so many people. Because I don't know why you just seem to get passed to so many different people. Like someone leaves you here and then someone else is going to pick you up, so then there's just so much room for error and people just not coming to get you. So yeah, that poor wee woman got left. She was meant to be in a wheelchair and nobody had came to pick her up in the wheelchair, and she was having to walk through like the tunnel onto the stair lift and everything, and she was like limping, bless her, like she was clearly struggling, and she just had to do it because if she didn't then she wouldn't have been able to get on the plane. And when we were done, when the plane lands, nobody tells you, okay, for the special assistance people wait and the people will come for the lift thing at the front of the plane or the back of the plane. It's different every single time. We went to the front and I was like, I'm waiting on special assistance, and they had literally just left. So they had came on, nobody was there and just left, but there was still everyone else getting off. So I got told to wait in my seat and they'd been and gone. So then the air hostess had to like open the door and let them come in and get me. And then they just left that wee woman on, they just didn't, I don't know why they don't know people's names. Why can they not just say over the like speaker thing, this seat, because they know who has special assistance, it's on your boarding pass and all that. Just say, okay, you're waiting your seat, the people will be coming to the front of the plane, and they didn't even look to see that there was people still in their seat. Oh, I don't even know, but it was just a big mess. And then we flew home from Faro, which was kind of just the same situation. Like, you don't know if you're going to get left. They say they're coming 40 minutes before, it's 10 minutes before, they're still not there. I'm like, am I going to just need to get up and go up all these stairs so that I don't miss the flight? Like, it's honestly just so unorganised and it's so unfair, and I just feel so bad for that wee woman because she's obviously travelling herself, and I actually would not travel myself now. Like, I wouldn't. It's honestly ridiculous and it makes me so angry, and this is me kind of just seeing, like, it's kind of just a recent thing that I'm like seeing how bad it is. Because before, like, I feel like if I'm like sitting somewhere or whatever, like, people kind of look at me as if like, why does she need a seat? And a lot of the time it probably is in my head, right? But I have actually had situations where like the women at the passport control like saying stuff to me as if like, you look completely fine to me. And then when we were in the wheelchair at the airport, like, the woman was just like, oh, holiday injury, because I was in a wheelchair. And I was just like, no. And she's like, oh, that's good then. I was like, yeah, it's good. It's not just like a broken arm and that I'm actually disabled for life. Yeah, that's great news. But it's just, again, like, yeah, I'm actually in a wheelchair, and just because I'm not 80, they're like, she can't actually need a wheelchair, it must be an injury. Like, it's just things like that. It's just constant, like, feeling uncomfortable. And the people at the passport control, I was meant to have been in a wheelchair. Someone was meant to have got me off the plane, got a wheelchair and took me through passport control, but they didn't. So that's why I had to ask on the special assistance queue, and the woman was being rude to me. And then in Madrid, we had like an appointment to get this transport card for the metro and all that, and you make an appointment, but there was still like a massive queue, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to wait in that, and I was going to just leave. And he was like, no, like, just show her your card and just ask for a seat, because there was seats. And I showed her the thing and I said in Spanish, like, I can't stand in the queue, am I able to get a seat? And she was just like shouting at me. I don't even know what she was saying, but then she eventually like stormed over, grabbed a seat, like dragged it over, and I was sitting next to like an old man and an old woman. And then there was an American couple at the desk for their appointment, and I actually heard the guy be like, why does she need a seat? Like, I actually heard him say it, and I was like, I was already feeling so uncomfortable because that woman was like shouting at me, and I was like, I actually can't believe, like, why do people, like, maybe if I didn't have anything wrong with me I would have thought this as well, but why do people think that you can only have any like health problems, mobility problems if you're old? Like, that is actually what it is. So many issues, and then obviously the issue with my school that I spoke about in my last video. What I had said to her was, at uni last year I was in 4 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I never made it in on the Friday or the Wednesday. Basically, like, I don't think I ever made it in all 4 days, or I did like 2 weeks, and I was like, no way, I've been in every day this week. So I said, is there any chance I can get my 16 hours in like 2 or 3 days? So rather than coming in all that way, getting up at 7 in the morning, getting ready, getting in, doing 4 hours, meant to be 4 hours, but she actually put me in like blinking 6 hours a day, not working, but like with gaps. If I could just do like 2 8-hour days, or like 3 days of like 6 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, because that is more manageable for me. Because when I signed up for this, I got told it would be 12 to 16 hours, and there was no option of the 12 hours, because obviously if there was anyone doing 12 hours, then I could have requested for me to be doing 12 hours. Because as I said in the last video, like, uni's 8 hours a week. That is more than I could manage, basically, and I wasn't able to like have a part-time job or anything like that. Like, I'm simply not well enough to do that. Yeah, I asked that. I was asking her another couple of things because I needed to know how many days I would be in to organise transport and funding, whatever, all that kind of thing. And she just kept ignoring the question, and I asked her blatantly like 4 or 5 times, can you tell me how many days I'm going to be working? And she didn't give me my schedule until the day I actually went to the school. She told me because she thinks it would be best. This woman who doesn't know me and is not qualified, she's not like part of like the Disability and Wellbeing Service, for example, like that they have at Strathclyde. She actually has no idea, no experience, no qualifications. She doesn't know anything about anything that's wrong with me, and I've never met this woman. I do not know her. She thought it would be best for me to work 5 days, even though I asked for 3, 5 days with loads and loads of breaks. And I'm saying, I shouldn't need to I'm happy to explain, I'm happy to talk about it, I'm happy to give as much information as possible for them to be able to know how to help me. But I'm telling her, I know myself and this is what would work best for me, and she's saying, actually I think this will be better for you, when she doesn't know me at all. Why would I have asked for 3 days if 5 days is going to be better for me? It makes no sense. And for all she knows, I was getting the metro, so that's 45 minutes travel there, 45 minutes back, for the sake of working 2 or 3 hours if she put me in for 5 days. No, sorry, for the sake of working 3 hours a day if she was putting me in for 5 days with loads of breaks. Honestly, it's just so frustrating. So I explained to her, I get really sore at night, I'm really, really stiff in the morning, I never get a good sleep. A big kind of problem of this is me having to get up so early and be there the full day. I tried to explain the best that I could to her, and even gave her obviously the example of my uni classes last year. She goes, this is not the University of Glasgow, you are not a student here, because I was saying my uni can get in touch with her if she's not believing me for whatever reason. This is not the University of Glasgow. 3 days would mean you need to work 5 or 6 hours a day, and that contradicts what you've told me. And I'm saying, no, it doesn't at all. It makes perfect sense to me. I'm not choosing this, do you know what I mean? This is not my fault. I'm just telling her from my experience, if you put me in 25 hours a week, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to need to call in sick once or twice a week, honestly. Basically, it's just bad experience after bad experience. Nobody seems to understand or have any sympathy. I don't really know what their laws are like here, because in Scotland I think they're pretty good. They're meant to be good, but not that everyone sticks by them. But I don't know what it's like here, but apparently that's getting sorted out. But it really has been getting to me, because I get really angry about it, and I'm angry for myself, but I'm angry for other people that are in the same situation. But I feel I find it quite hard, because I've never met anyone my age that's in a similar situation to me. So I'm and obviously everyone else in the world is acting like they've never seen a disabled young person that's not in a wheelchair. Can I just add, the whole airport situation was in the queue for special assistance, but it was also the invisible disability scheme, and this woman's questioning me when they're meant to know about the invisible disability scheme, and that happened somewhere else. It was the school I went to. When that woman was being horrible to me, it was just photos, and it was someone in a wheelchair, someone standing, and it was different people, same rights, all this nonsense. It's just putting up these things so that you seem like you're doing the right thing and you tick these boxes, but your staff clearly aren't educated at all. Or else really, I wouldn't, if I have an invisible disability, I shouldn't even really need to show anything, because if you're in a wheelchair you don't need to show anything. So then if I'm not in a wheelchair, I shouldn't need to show anything. I don't know if that's how it works, but yeah. It does make me feel like it's literally just me, but it's obviously not. It really gets to me, because when I'm talking about it, I get quite angry and I'm quite passionate about it, and then when it happens to me, I don't say anything, because it just really throws me off, and it makes me feel so uncomfortable. Just at that American couple were sitting talking about me because I was having a seat, because I needed a seat. Seriously, it's just mental, and I get so stressed every time I go on the metro, because I don't know if there's going to be a seat. And then I've always got my wee card with me. That is one of the only things that I have with me every single time I go anywhere. But even if I was sitting in one of the seats, one that's priority whatever, I'm obviously in that category, but people would be looking at me thinking, why is she in that seat? That's not fair. So yeah, it's just a constant stress, but I am gonna get more confident, and I just really wanted to say to that American couple, sorry, are you talking about me? Why are you wondering why I have a seat? Why do you think I wouldn't need a seat? Like, I'm clearly sitting here because I need to. It just like really got to me. That really got to me, because it was like behind my back. It was like, I'm sitting right there and you're talking about me. I feel like that also made me realise, like, sometimes when I think everyone's like people are staring at me, people are looking at me, it's like all in my head, but then that made me like realise it's actually not all in my head, and I'm feeling like that for reasons, and I'm feeling like people are looking at me or talking about me because in the past they have been talking about me or thinking certain things about me. I don't know if you can hear that, there's like always this wee band that plays out in the street. Can you hear it? Anyway, I'm going to give a wee health update. So overall, I'm actually doing better since I've been here. I've had some really bad days, but overall, because I'm being more active in general, and I'm like out nearly every single day doing like a bit of walking, I think it's helped me overall. This is September 2023. See, in September 2022, I had an MRI of my back and my hip, because my hip was really bad and my back was really bad. Got a weird phone call, I think I spoke about this, about like having scoliosis, this weird thing, just someone made that up basically. And that was when I went to the GP and they got my scan up and were like, Ricky, that's like, they've wrote that it's like, there's nothing there, basically there's nothing they can see. And then that's when I started amitriptyline and stuff, and then I thought it was working, then it wasn't working. And then I had an appointment with rheumatology just June this year, and that was my first appointment since the MRI scan last September. I had tried to like email and stuff. I had asked for like, can I get an appointment ASAP because I'm really struggling here, and they didn't. I know that there's a big waiting list for everything now. So, and then I think the appointment got cancelled as well. My appointments get cancelled all the time. I get letters through saying it's been cancelled, rescheduled all the time. Even when it's just like a 5-minute phone call, it's really weird. I don't know how it works. He basically said he thinks that I'm in this pain because I'm hypermobile, and he gave me anti-inflammatories for my hip. I was looking up about this hypermobility. So many people have it. It's a really common thing. I don't even really have it, I don't think. But I couldn't find anything about any treatments about it causing pain, nothing. And when I was at the appointment, he said physio wouldn't help. And I'm like, so why are you referring me for physio then? Why are you telling me what's wrong with me this far after my scan? Anyway, came out of that appointment, was really confused. He said that the anti-inflammatories for my hip would also help my back, even though there's no inflammation in my back. And sure enough, didn't help my back at all, because why would it? It's not for that. Just before I came here, I was quite bad over the summer. I was really bad in Lisbon. I had to get a wheelchair. I'll speak about that. I had to get a wheelchair in Lisbon. I feel like I would have kept putting it off, but Liam just got me one. So got it, came to the flat, tried to use it, and it was not impossible, but like, I'm not used to being in a wheelchair, Liam's not used to pushing a wheelchair, right? So it's like, that was a struggle anyway. Every single pavement didn't go down, so there was a big curb every time we tried to cross the road. It was so busy. The streets were all cobbly. Some of the streets were this thin, so the wheelchair wouldn't even fit on it. We literally gave it a go and we're like, there's genuinely no point in using this, so we just took it back, and I wasn't able to use it. It just wasn't worth it because I was having to get up every 5 minutes so that he could take it across the road and then get back in it. And then obviously everyone was staring at me as well, because everyone was like, she's in a wheelchair, how is she getting up and walking? But yeah, just before I came here, I was quite bad. I was looking up to go to like a spinal clinic in Glasgow, so booked that. It was just like an initial consultation. So went to this spinal clinic. Turned out it was a chiropractor, which I didn't realise at the time when I booked it, because I wasn't really wanting a chiropractor because I'd been to one before for headaches and I didn't like it, and I just really didn't like the feeling of it. So I was like, I'll still go and I'll just talk to him about everything and see if he can give me any advice or whatever. So basically told him all my symptoms, like it was really, really, really in depth. Like he was asking me like all sorts of like things about like how stressed are you, about like my periods and stuff, like about my sleep, like just everything. So he was like a fresh pair of eyes. Just asked about like every single aspect, because I know everything has an impact on everything basically. He said he's not like putting a label on it, that's not like his job or anything, but it sounds like fibromyalgia, which is what my mum and Kevin have thought it was in the past, because I have like every single symptom of it. And fibromyalgia, for people that don't know, it's like a chronic condition, and it's just basically like chronic pain, I think. And there's no tests or scans that you can get to diagnose it. So basically nothing showed up in my scans, blood, nothing. So I don't really know why the hospital haven't suggested that it's that. I don't know. I don't think it's really that common in young people. I think he's pretty spot on. I think it probably is that, because there's not really any other explanation other than I think it's chronic pain. He also said how my hips aren't like even, so that could be causing some problems in like my back and stuff. I also said to him about the hypermobility thing. He'd done all the hypermobility tests and he was like, you're really not that hypermobile at all, because it's like when people can like put their thumb down there, I can't do that. It's kind of like double jointed, what people say. It's like that. So he was like, I don't think you're that hypermobile, and I was like, I don't think I am either, and I know that that's not going to be the reason for the pain. And he was like, no. So I knew that. I know that the hip pain is from inflammation, but that has got better recently. I don't know if it's because I've been a bit more active, because I know that like physio and stuff does help with hip pain, like this bursitis, truncatic bursitis, because it used to be sore to sit. And like sitting like in the cinema, I couldn't go to the cinema for ages. Sore to lie on either side, even though I think it was only meant to be one side, sore on either side. Sore to walk, obviously, like putting any weight on it, but that's been better recently, I think, because I've been active. So yeah, I think right now, I think that my pain, any pain that I've got, is probably from fibromyalgia, and that's probably causing fatigue, brain fog, bad sleep, everything else. So when I was there, he did do some chiropractor things. He did do a couple of small adjustments, I think that's what they called them. And my back hasn't been sore since. I'm not joking. That's been like a month and a half. My back has been, honestly, it's like night and day since he done that. And it's quite mental. I don't know if I should maybe try and book again for Christmas to go back to see him. I don't know, because I don't know if it's something like how long it'll last, because he basically said, I didn't tell him I was going away, but I knew that I was just wanting this one appointment because I just wanted to talk to someone. He said that with what he would do, he could maybe get my hips to be a bit more in line, and that would help basically with everything else. So yeah, my back's been, it's still sore, like it's still, there's still bad days, but overall so much better. Hip is so much better. Only problem now really is I can't walk that long, basically. Like I think my limit is 6,000 steps. I've kind of worked out, probably that is too much. Not every single day, definitely, but sometimes, like because we had just got here, we were doing like 10,000 steps. I simply can't do that. I was in so much pain, but I've been like with new people and stuff, and I never feel comfortable saying. I don't know why. I just can never say, can we stop? I don't know. If I've not done anything for a day, I'll be sore. So I do know that exercise is good, and I think once I start my school and I'm in a routine, I'll either join a gym or I'll maybe start going to some like classes or something like that, so that I'm in a routine and doing stretches, exercises, whatever. I just had to stop there because there was like noises outside, but I think I've said all I have to say. I'm probably gonna forget things. I feel better now that I've spoke about it because I've been meaning to for ages, and I think it's important. See you in the next video.